All right, that was Piyush getting us more details on what's happening at the Belarusian end. But for the moment, these visuals from Kherson, once again, you can see residents in the region confronting Russian troops. And since the last 20 days, not once but multiple times, we've seen ordinary civilians, ordinary citizens who have come out on streets, who have in fact tried to block Russian vehicles, Russian armored vehicles, military vehicles, and once again residents in Kherson who can be seen confronting Russian troops. Now remember, Kherson, towards the southeastern part of Ukraine, is one city that Russia claimed to have seized long back in the war. In fact, Ukrainians also to an extent did admit to the fact that Kherson had fallen to the Russian troops, and these pictures, though explaining the sentiment on ground, the residents who continue to confront Russian troops, they've decided that they will either take up arms, and if they do not, they will keep fighting for their motherland by trying to block as many Russian troops. Extremely angered and frustrated at this point in time, residents in several parts of Ukraine have been resorting to this strategy. They have been taking to streets, moving on the roads wherein Russian vehicles can be seen moving towards different parts of the country, and have essentially repeatedly made an attempt to block Russian military vehicles. These visuals coming in from Kherson, residents confronting Russian troops on your television screens. Remember, apart from Kherson, Kiev, Kharkiv, Chernihiv, Sumy are some of the cities that are looking at intense battle since the past few days. And Mariupol also, reports suggest, has to an extent been taken over by the Russian troops. How much of that holds weight remains to be seen. But for the moment, more breaking news coming in on your screens. News on the peace talks that are underway. Russia-Ukraine round 4 talks underway. We've been telling you how consultations are taking place on negotiations and those talks that are currently underway after yesterday when the talks ended without a breakthrough. Today, talks have resumed once again. The focus, Ukraine says, is going to be on its part, on ceasefire. On Ukraine's part, the demand is just one, that A, ceasefire takes place at the earliest, B, Russian troops also immediately withdraw. Russia also, meanwhile, has indicated that positive developments are taking place on this front. But for the moment, 4th round of talks underway between Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine has also, remember, said that it has been asked, the negotiators on its end have been asked to ensure a direct conversation between Putin and President Zelensky. Now, remains to be seen what is the outcome of the round 4 of talks, but for the moment, moving on.
Russian troops continued to press their offensive across Ukraine, pounding populated areas with artillery and airstrikes. The port city of Mariupol was again a focus of intense shelling. Satellite images from Maxar Technologies showed fire burning across the city, with many high-rise apartment buildings heavily damaged or destroyed. The Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine shared footage which showed enemy Typhoon, 4 armored personnel carriers and 17 special forces being destroyed in Mariupol. Further, the ministry mentioned, and I quote, "Fighting for Ukrainian Mariupol continues despite the fact that the city is under siege. Defenders of the city continue to fight for every citizen despite the fact that the enemy is trying to capture the city." Meanwhile, Ukraine's military said it repelled an attempt to take control of Mariupol by Russian forces who were forced to retreat. Agency report for Republic TV.